Sonia is there getting in all your previews and show you what you can look forward to. Sonia, over to you.
Welcome back, everyone. Sonia Mongat here, coming to you live from King Street, right in front of Roy Thompson, where the red carpet has been rolled out. We are getting ready for the opening gala because it is, in fact, day one of TIFF, which means you're looking at the calm before the storm because it's about to get very stormy. And to talk about how stormy it's about to get, we've got Richard Krause, film critic. Let's give it out. I don't have an audience for you, but let's just imagine all the people clapping for you right now, sir. You have watched 25
at least
they just played a big applause for you, by the way.
That's
just
great.
a little
Thank
button.
You. Appreciate that.
But you have watched 25 films already.
Yeah.
How's your brain doing?
Fine. I take notes. I take really, really detailed notes while I'm doing them, while I'm watching the movies. So later, when I have to talk about them or write the review or whatever, I can keep everything straight. I didn't used to do that, and they would all meld into one big movie.
Yeah, you would probably get them all confused. But I've actually seen you in screenings, and he literally, what he does, he's sitting there and he's like old school. I love it. Your pen and paper. But Richard, you have picked some. I mean, it's tough pick to be able to pick films that we're actually getting in this rundown because there are so many. But let's start with Saturday Night.
Yeah, Saturday Night is a kind of a cool idea. It takes the 90 minutes before the first live airing of Saturday Night Live, and it just tells you that story. And great energy. This one I think is going to be a huge hit here at TIFF.
Well, I mean, how can it not be when we have our beloved Canadian American director Jason Reitman, right?
Yeah.
Like anything he touches or his family touches, it kind of turns into gold. But I love that you came here this morning and you were so excited about Honora. Like you were like, this is so good. Everyone needs to see it. Yeah. What's so special about it?
Honora is a breakthrough performance from its star, Mikey Madison. It is funny. It's bittersweet. It's kind of heartbreaking. It is a lot of just raw emotion bundled up into a movie that is a roller coaster ride. It's super fun. It's 2 hours, 20 minutes, and because that's the other thing I do is I check the run times of everything before I go in.
Yeah, of course. You got to plan your day.
So it's like 2 hours and 19 minutes, and I thought, oh no, do I have that amount of energy left after seeing a couple of movies already that day? This one reinvigorated me. It's going to be huge here.
I'm not kidding you. Tracy Melchior from eTalk, she also had a chance to view it as well, and that's literally what she said. She came in and her eyes were like popping out of her head. She's like, you've got to see Honora. So thank you for that. I'm definitely going to watch that one. The Substance. Demi Moore has opened up in a sit-down with Variety as well, talking about how she had to take a break after 45 takes of a very intense scene. I don't know what this scene looks like, but you do.
Well,
and do you understand why she said that now?
I'm not sure exactly which scene it is.
Because it's one after the other.
There's one intense scene after the other. The Substance is the story of an actress who, at age 50 in Hollywood, is told, well, we don't want you anymore. You know, sorry, you're too old. And so she takes a miracle drug that will create youth. And I won't tell you anything more about it than that, other than to say the last half hour of this movie is unlike anything I've ever seen before. And it will be the very definition, I think, of a movie that's not for everyone because it is so extreme, but I loved it.
Well,
when you
have a description of body horror film, right, I think that's kind of giving you a little bit of a tease of like what to expect. Absolutely. But you're right, I'm happy to see her back.
Yeah, and doing something unlike anything we've ever seen her do before.
Yeah, we can't wait to see her here. Conclave, really quickly, tell us about
Love Conclave. Ralph Fiennes plays the Dean of Cardinals. The Pope has died and they have to elect a new one. And it doesn't sound like it's going to be a riveting, edge-of-your-seat drama, but it is. It's like a murder mystery. It is like a police procedural. Brilliantly acted. Ralph Fiennes, John Lithgow, Stanley Tucci's in here. This is cast. Really, really good stuff that will be making a big buzz at Oscar time.
Richard, really quickly, I said earlier that this year at TIFF, there's one word to describe some of the movies that we're getting, and it's the word erotic. So let's end with Baby Girl, because we can't even play a trailer. There's not even a trailer, because you're like, I think they're naked in it the whole time.
They're not naked the whole time, but they're naked frequently. It's Nicole Kidman playing the CEO of a company who has an affair with a much younger intern, and it turns into something more than just an affair. And you know, this is something, again, we've seen, like Demi Moore, we're seeing Nicole Kidman do something unlike she's ever done before. We've seen her on the small screen a lot lately. This is sort of her return to the big screen, and I think this one's going to turn some heads. Called
Well, she
Baby
talks
Girl.
about it being a very vulnerable thing, like a role for her as well.
Yeah, I saw it yesterday, man, and vulnerable is the perfect word to describe that performance.
Any other films that you're really looking for? You've watched 25. How many are you watching today?
I'm watching at least 3 today, but I'm looking forward to The Last Showgirl. Pamela Anderson plays a Las Vegas showgirl whose show closes after 30 years, and she's got to try and redefine herself in some way. And the interesting thing about this, I haven't seen this one yet. People are saying, oh, this is Pamela Anderson's Oscar nomination right here.
Get out.
Yeah,
Get out. That's huge.
Yeah, it is.
That is huge. I mean, like Pamela Anderson, Angelina Jolie, Nicole Kidman, these are the names that we're expecting. Like TIFF is going to be fire this year. We are so excited to see all these celebrities come through. Richard Krause, make sure you stay hydrated. Make sure you stay energized. We always love having you. Thank you so much for sharing your input. And Honora, because of you, I'm going to definitely put that on my list as well. Coming up in a little bit later, we're also going to be talking to Trans Filmmakers Summit, the folks from there, and why this has become just such a pivotal and an important summit for the trans community and the impact that it's having as well.
Chopper 24, high above 80 Blue Jays Way. Yes, the beautiful Bisha Hotel. That's coast. That's where you can have your breakfast, lunch, dinner under the stars or under the sun. And isn't that a stunning pool? That's on the 44th floor. We've come into the hotel to give you a sneak peek at what some of the stars will be able to experience perhaps at the end of the day, or maybe getting ready for their big gala red carpets, or when they just want to rest their heads. I'm going to introduce you now to Charles Kabuth, who is the president of Inc. Entertainment, which owns the Bisha Hotel.
Correct.
And you had a fantastic story. 7 years to this day, Bisha opened just in time for TIFF. In fact, because of TIFF, right?
Exactly. We made sure we timed it right. We had John Tory at the time. We did the ribbon cutting on exactly the same day 7 years ago. This is a 7-year-old beautiful baby that we have.
So 7 years of luxury accommodations and hosting some big, big stars. We're going to give you a little bit of a tour, but can you tell me some of maybe the big names that have stayed here over the years?
This exact same room, we've had Suzanne Sarandon, Lenny Kravitz, Deadmau5, a DJ, and many, many celebrities. It's one of my favorite suites. You know, it has everything any star could ever need.
If it's a favorite of Charles Kabuth, you need to stay here. So let's take you on a little bit of a tour. Ken Enlow behind the camera. Where do we start? We showed you the entranceway as I walked in. This is a beautiful seating area.
I mean, it's a great entranceway. We have multiple, you know, bathrooms. It's a beautiful sitting area that's facing in. We have another sitting area facing the patio, a beautiful little area there.
This is a private terrace out here. Ken, you got to come and take a look at this.
Private terrace, yes.
A private terrace in your luxury accommodations. Imagine this. You're hosting your celebrity friends. Don't have any of those, but if I did, this is where you could, look how huge this is in the downtown core. It's your kind of oasis. It feels very private.
You know, what makes it feel better even when it's full of people, we've had many events here, many events on this rooftop patio. People love it. It's
beautiful, and they get nice weather for this now. But you were telling me that the bedroom is absolutely exceptional. I've never seen, and this inspired or designed by Lenny Kravitz? How did that work out?
This is designed by Studio Monji. Oh, wow. Lenny Kravitz designed one of the other floors, but he stayed with us here when his floor was still under construction.
Okay, let Ken go ahead of me.
It's a fairly big suite. Yeah. It's comfortably big, not too big, but also the bedroom here is honestly one of the largest bedrooms in hotels in the city.
Wow.
Again, it gives that onto a private patio, and it makes all the difference. It's what people love. Lots of room, lots of closets, lots of bathrooms.
It's bigger than most condos in this.
Exactly. I mean, this suite, you know, is almost 1,000 square feet.
It's a very sexy vibe. I know it was worked with the studio to create this. It has that rock star feel. Is that what you're trying to deliver the experience for these Hollywood celebrities coming up here?
It's exactly that, making it sexy, a rock star-like, but yet all the comfort, you know, of a very, very high-end hotel.
Come with me, Charles, because I think I saw 2 bottles of champagne sitting out there. Is that when the stars come here, a little thirsty? Well, beautiful luxe chairs, bar over here.
Definitely. All the essentials, you know?
Yeah.
Alcohol, TV, entertainment, a great space to entertain people. And, you know, we always and often have a bottle of champagne for a lot of these people that come in. we try and take care of people as much as possible.
I know you probably can't talk about who's staying at your hotel this year, but next year we're going to come back and ask you, unless you can.
Well, no,
of course you
unfortunately,
can.
it's one of the
to get
things
that
we
out
have
of
to sign, yeah.
Okay, well, it's brilliant, and I know there's going to be a lot of people enjoying their stay here. Charles Caboose,
Thank you.
always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank
Happy
you.
TIFF at 80 Blue Jays Way. This is the Bisha Hotel, an incredible luxury suite that some Hollywood stars may be staying in as soon as tonight. We're going to send it to break, and we'll have much more from, Festival Street down on King Street. We're going to find out what else you can experience. Sonia's down on the street as well.
All right, well, we've been telling you all morning long. Sonia Mungott is live along TIFF Festival Street this morning, checking out all of the action here. Sonia, I know you're going to be spending a lot of time there and thereabouts over the next 10 days as you're covering TIFF for eTalk and us as well. What's happening this morning? And I know this is such an exciting time for not only film, but filmmakers as well.
Oh, it's such an exciting time for everybody who's involved in films, right? Not just for on-screen. And I know, Nick, that there's usually a lot of excitement when we talk about the big A-listers who are coming to the city. But to be honest with you, I'm kind of sometimes more excited about the underdogs. I'm a little bit more excited about the shorts and some of the other events that actually happen during TIFF, because these events actually make it possible for filmmakers who perhaps are not that well known, but they are going to be our future. So speaking about our future, I've got Luis de Filippis, I love saying that name, and we've got Jay Stevens here this morning with us, and here to talk about the Trans Filmmakers Summit, right? Speaking of building the future so that everybody has an opportunity. Jay, first of all, let's talk about the summit and the mentorship program. So what exactly is that?
Yeah, so the summit is going to be on Sunday, and it's its third year. My first year being involved with it. Luis is the one who got it all going. But this year specifically, it's a space for gender diverse folks and allies to be together in the same room to celebrate strides we're making or talk about things that still need to change.
Yep.
And this year it's cool because we have a pitch competition. So we have three amazing filmmakers pitching their ideas to an esteemed panel of judges, and then the winner will get funds and support to make their first, or not first short film, but their short film a reality.
And to continue their creativity.
Exactly.
Luis, I love that you are the founder of this as well. How important has this impact been on the trans community as well, to be able to tell their stories themselves?
Yeah, I mean, I think over the years, there's been a lot of discussion about representation in front of the camera and having, trans actors play trans roles. But to us, we believe that representation also means who's behind the camera and who's telling those stories. And so, yeah, we started the Trans Film Mentorship 3 years ago. Jay started Spindle Films Foundation last year, and what we're both doing is we're just supporting trans people who want to have careers in film kind of get to the next step. For TFM now, we have over 30 alumni who have gone through our program, and now they're in the industry and they're making strides, and they're working on other productions and also telling their own stories. And to me, that's how you make an equitable, robust industry.
Absolutely, preach. I love that so much. Now, as you mentioned, Jay, this is the third year now, but even just in the last 2 years, I can imagine putting something like this together. There's some sort of a fear also involved in terms of how will this be received. But if I stand corrected, this year it's sold out. You don't have any more chairs left.
There's no chairs left, but there is a waiting list. So if you want to come, put yourself on the waiting list, and we can get you in. We will get you in.
But what goes through your head when, just foldable chairs, we'll make it work. But what goes through your head when I say that, knowing that you started this not just 3 years ago, but then to know that it has not just been received, but there's actually a lineup of people waiting to come here and now learn and watch and pitch and just be a part of this summit. What goes through your head? How proud do you feel?
I'm proud, but I'm also, I'm proud, and I'm also, I feel validated that what we're doing means something to the community. It means that there's a hole that we're filling. I'm also a little bit sad because, it's 2024 and we're still having these conversations, and they're still very much being needed to have, because even at this festival, there are films being programmed that are not reaching the bar when it comes to trans representation are
Right.
actually quite disappointing when it comes to trans representation.
Right.
But that being said, we're still here.
Yeah.
We're not going to shut up.
Yeah.
We're going to keep going.
Yes. And you shouldn't.
And we shouldn't.
No.
And, you know, I think both our dreams is for one day, like, we don't need the Trans Film Summit.
Yeah.
We don't need the Trans Film Mentorship because it'll just be
It's just part
of it. Exactly.
It's part of the thread now.
Exactly.
It is part of the thread. But listen, you're pioneering that, right? And we need people and leaders like you to actually take that on. And I know it's a daunting position, but I applaud you both for being a part of this. Like they said, it is full, but if you're still interested, just put your name on that waiting list and they will find a way for you to be there. Thank you so much, Louise and Jay, for being here this morning, and congratulations and all the best on Sunday as well. Nick, like I mentioned, right, it's not just about the A-listers, it's about the people behind the scenes and making sure that everyone is included and there are opportunities for future filmmakers. So it's such a beautiful thing to see. Coming up, we're also going to be talking to Cameron Bailey, so we're going to be moving along. We've got also a short film actress coming up, Alicia, who's going to be telling us about her journey. So much more. Like, we're just getting started, Nick.
Right,
it's day one.
These conversations
I do
kicking
need
off.
a coffee already, though. I'm not going to lie.
You probably should. Well, I think there's a few coffee shops around there, Sonia. All right, we'll check back in with Sonia as she gets fueled up.
This is also super exciting for me, Nick, because how often do you get to stand right in the middle of King Street, right, without just being run over by a bus or something? Because this is where all the magic happens, where they shut down all of King Street, well, most of King Street, right through the downtown stretch, and make ways for people so they can go and watch whatever films they want. And speaking of films, I've said this before, and I will never stop beating this drum, but the heart of a film festival is in the short films. The short films is where beautiful stories begin. Sometimes they continue into features, but sometimes that's all you just need. So I've got an amazing award-winning filmmaker, Alicia K. Harris, who is no sort of stranger to the short film world. First of all, Alicia, welcome.
Thank you.
And congratulations on having another film. This is not your first rodeo. You have had another short before as well, which went on to win a Canadian Screen Award. But you've got another short this year, and it's called On a Sunday at 11. So first of all, tell us about what this film is about, the short, the 9-minute short.
Yeah, so it's about a young black ballerina, and she's the only black girl in her class. And it's basically about Eurocentric beauty standards and how she feels the pressure to conform, but how there's just a community of black women that are around her that give her that positive messaging that black is beautiful.
You have always been a champion of making sure that you're telling these stories as well, that not a lot of people go out of their way to tell. Why is that so important to you? Why is it so important to highlight the black beauty aspect of it? Because it is so beautiful.
Oh, yeah, so true. Yeah, it's so important to me because honestly, I grew up and I just didn't see myself represented. And as I reached adulthood, I really looked back and reflected and saw wow, I really internalized, so many negative messages about my appearance. I really felt I had to change my hair. I always saw the beautiful woman portrayed as a white woman with straight blonde hair. And luckily that is definitely changing now. And I want to be a part of that change. I want this film to be just another thing that young black girls can grow up and see. And see the unique beauty of black women celebrated. Our hair is art, our melanin is beautiful. And I just don't think we can hear that enough, especially when we're growing up.
It's literally the most beautiful crown that you're wearing right now as well, because I say that, right? Our hair is our crown. And to me, that's so wild to when I'm watching you, but you talk about, being young and questioning your beauty, because I'm looking at you going, oh my gosh, you're so stunning. But it's so true, right? On what society sometimes tells us what beauty is. So I champion you for taking that into your own hands and being that example. Not too shabby that you have already won an award in the past. So does that put pressure on you as a filmmaker, or do you kind of just say, okay, let's just put that aside? What are we trying to tell the message here? How do you take that in knowing that you're coming back to TIFF with another film?
Yeah, I think you kind of always feel the pressure as an artist to one-up yourself, but I learned after receiving many rejections from many festivals, many awards, many things early on in my career that you can't really tie up your personal success in an accomplishment. Ultimately, I really make these films for my younger self, and if there's an audience of Black women that respond to them and relate to them, to me, that is like the biggest win.
Yes.
That being said, it's really exciting that I'll get to have my like all Black cast celebrate at this festival and like have their red carpet moment. So it's always special to like have an achievement like this.
Speaking of the festival, the film actually premieres on Monday. At what time?
6:45 p.m.
6:45. The whole family is going to be there.
Yes.
The whole community is going to be there. I have to say that when I read that it was on a Sunday at 11, I was like, I wonder if it's going to premiere on Sunday at 11, but that would just be like too much.
Yeah, you know what? That would have been cute. That would have been poetic, but
That's okay.
it's going to be 6:45 on Monday.
Alicia, congratulations again, and thank you so much for being here. We wish you all the best. And we're not saying like, you know, let's make this bring in another award, because it's not always about awards, but I feel like the bar has been kind of set high now.
Yeah, fingers crossed still.
No pressure,
We can
no
hope.
pressure. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
So make sure you get a chance to check that out on Monday at 6:45, but on a Sunday at 11. So many incredible films premiering here at TIFF. I know that at some point they're also going to be rolling out the red carpet, like literally rolling out the red carpet, like it's begun. Day one of TIFF has started. We're in it, folks.
Yeah, here we go, the 49th edition, and oh, here we go. Let's take a look. We've got the red carpet right there, and it in fact is being rolled out. So Sonia didn't. Oh, now they're rolling it back up. Can you imagine?
Oh, they're rolling
Come
it back
on.
up.
We're doing a live shot here. They've rolled it up. Trust me, that's going to get unrolled very soon. Okay, Sonia, appreciate this. We're back with more TIFF coverage coming.
Oh, welcome back, folks. Sonia Mackie here with a man who has possibly the toughest job, CEO of TIFF, Cameron Bailey. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Congratulations on another beautiful kickoff to TIFF. But before we get into that, I mean, this man knows how to dress.
Oh, thank
He knows.
you.
Can we just get a look at this fit? Can I ask you, sir,
Appreciate
who are you wearing?
I am wearing Boss, as I always do.
Because he's a boss. That's why he's wearing Boss. On point there. But you look fantastic.
Thank you.
And when we were just chatting earlier, obviously, you know, last year was a little different. We had the writer's strike and we didn't have too much star power. But still, we had beautiful films. But we're back, 100%, 110%.
We are so back.
So what has that buzz been like?
It's been incredible. I mean, it starts with reaching out to the filmmakers and the artists all year round, and they're excited to come back to Toronto. They know that we have the best audience in the film festival world, hands down,
Yes.
and they want to be here for that.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the opening gala. It's the first day today. I can
Yes.
feel the buzz. You can hear, you know, the red carpets being rolled out. Tell us a little bit about Nutcrackers and why this was the top choice for opening night.
Sure. Nutcrackers is the new Ben Stiller movie. Ben's been here many times before. We know Ben can do these wild, outrageous comedies. He's been in Wes Anderson movies as well. This is more of a heartwarming drama directed by David Gordon Green, who's had many films here before, most recently with Halloween. And that's just a great pairing of the two of them. Family story. A high-powered Chicago real estate guy goes to the Heartland, Ohio, to take care of his sister's kids, and things change. It's a beautiful story, and you've got one of the best comic actors in the world doing something that's a little bit more on the heartfelt side.
Now, when I look at the rundown of some of the big films that are coming with the star power, I'm not going to lie, I feel like the word erotic comes to mind.
I don't know what would make you say that.
So, Mr. Bailey, tell me if you have seen some of these erotic films,
well,
and was that kind of the theme for TIFF this year?
You know, it becomes a theme when you begin to see it over and over again. So I will say Nicole Kidman in the movie Baby Girl, is on fire. You know, Nicole Kidman is a brave actor. We've seen her do remarkable things in the past, Eyes Wide Shut. This is kind of like going full to the wall.
Eyes wide open.
Yes, exploring everything.
Yes.
That's one, and there are so many more as well.
Nora, such a beautiful story that I keep hearing from everyone, any film critic I've spoken to. Tracy Melshore, she has had a chance because she's covering that, and she would just not stop talking about how incredible this film is as well. So it's nice to see that there's a huge different variety, which is something you're so good at doing. You cover the drama, you cover for people who want the erotic films, you cover, you know, all aspects of it. But is there one specific film, and I know I always ask you this year, that you're not your favorite, I'll never ask you to choose your favorite child, but that one that you're just like really excited for?
Yeah, listen, I'll give you a film from France. It's called Meet the Barbarians by Julie Delpy, who people know from the Before Sunrise, Before Sunset movies. She's also a director. So she's told a story about a small town in France. It's receiving refugees. They think they're going to be Ukrainian refugees, fellow Europeans. Turns out they're Syrian refugees who come to this small French town, and it's about that whole dynamic as they get to know each other. Beautiful story and very funny.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that one. But really quickly, Cameron, a lot of people think that TIFF is all about star power, big films, but there's a lot of other things happening at this festival, which makes it available for everyone who perhaps isn't even a movie lover, but then they end up becoming a movie lover. So for people who are coming to downtown, right across King Street, like what other events are happening with the festivities?
Sure, so many things. So first of all, everything's open to everybody. If you want to buy a ticket for a movie, you can absolutely do that via our website. If you want to just come down and take in Festival Street for the first 4 days, all of that is free. Free movies every night outdoors, free activations. All of our partners are on Festival Street as well. So lots to do, and you can just people watch, which is an amazing thing to do as well.
Which is so much fun to do.
And then of course we have a whole industry side as well. If you're a professional and you have one of the industry badges, there's all kinds of conferences and talks and panels and deals to be done as well.
I love that. Sir Cameron Bailey, it is so great to see you again.
So great to see you.
Looking fantastic in your
fantastic.
fit.
Check you
I knew
out.
I was talking to you. So I was like, this man's going to show up. But next time, next year, I'm going to bring my shades too.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because
we're going to bring our game
I'm going to bring my game up with the shades as well. But really, really excited for tonight. Congratulations again on another year. Nutcrackers, that is the opening film tonight, starring Ben Stiller, who is set to make an appearance on the red carpet. And like we said, he's just one of the big stars that we just named. Definitely check out the website. Get your tickets to whatever films that you want to watch. And of course, Richard Krause shared his top 5s, but you know what? Read the summary, see what you're actually feeling, because there is something for everyone. Whether you like drama, whether you like a little bit of erotic films, like Cameron Bailey just mentioned, there is something for everybody, Nick. Like no one is left out at the film festival.
I mean, it's pretty obvious in my face and in my tone that I'm loving this, because it harkens back to my first experiences on TV, covering the Visa screening room of the Elgin Theater way back in the day. I won't tell you when, because that makes me feel very old. Mr. Will Wong, you are iconic, synonymous with Film Festival for me in such a number of ways. You're an entertainment blogger. You help people navigate their way through the Film Festival through the eye of your camera, through your lens, but also through your words and your history. So tell me, why did you decide to pursue this path to become a photographer and a blogger? What excited you about the Film Festival?
Well, thank you so much, Bill. I'm honored to call you a friend and also get to chat with you today. But TIFF is honestly, I live for this festival. It is the greatest festival in the world. And part of what helped launch my blog back in 2009 was really just I had all these amazing shots I get around town and my thoughts on things I saw at the festival that I loved. So I created a little blog spot page and put it out there in the world, and the exposure just kept coming and coming. I could never foresaw that it would land where it did, but it was a chance to showcase my love for TIFF, and that's where it all came from.
And the passion preceding that, and I got to introduce too, Beanie. Beanie, is that your personal assistant?
Yes, she's she's my nepo baby.
Oh, hi. And I bet sometimes, I don't know if Beanie's always there with you when you see the celebrities, but there's something about an animal too that just softens people, doesn't it? It just opens their heart.
Well, I can speak from experience on that for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So tell me a little bit about, so preceding this blog, did you always have a passion for film when you were a kid? Did you look at actors or look at film and just be taken to a different place?
It is partly that, but it really, I've always loved film since I was a kid, but coming, after experiencing my first TIFF in the early 2000s, and experiencing what the joy and the rush of being at a Q&A with the director there with cast in attendance, that's really what propelled it and really pushed me to love film on a different level completely.
Cool. Okay, so let's talk about, because obviously you stand out because you get the pictures. You have something about you, I don't know if it's in your DNA, maybe it's your personality, but you find a way to get these shots and everyone kind of turns to you. So how do you do it? What do you mentally prepare for the film festival to get these shots?
It's taken years of tempering the approach because, I still get starstruck to this day. Angelina Jolie, Cate Blanchett, they're going to be here. Daniel Craig will be here. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be so starstruck when they walk by. Huge fans of them. But we're
showing, by the way, some of the pictures right now that you caught last night. So maybe quickly talk about those.
Yeah, for sure. So last night, typically that's my approach. Usually at the start of the festival, it's a little bit slower around town, but then it ramps up really quickly. So we were lucky to see stars in town last night, like Demi Moore. She's here for her body horror, The Substance. That's going to premiere tonight as part of Midnight Madness. She's going to make her big comeback. I'm excited.
Good.
Yeah, and we saw Omar Apollo, who stars opposite Daniel Craig. I mean, he had a show last night here also, but he'll likely
be
here
for that.
He'll be here for Queer. We saw Anderson .Paak. He makes his directorial debut, acting alongside his own real life son in K-Pops.
That's so cool.
Yeah, lots of exciting sightings. It was a successful day yesterday.
So, and you like to differentiate yourself by maybe choosing a different venue or a different way of capturing them. When do you go, yes, I got it? Like, what is it that makes you the most excited when getting these pictures?
Well, my approach is do as many shots as you can. Somewhere in that mix is going to be the magic moment. That sweet spot's going to be there somewhere. So, but generally, yeah, like it takes a moment, that moment where you connected with them, or they smiled right at you, or it's a feeling. It's not something I can see physically. I'll have to review the photo, look at it. That's the moment.
And how do you find them? Because you were talking a little bit earlier, maybe people catch them coming off the plane. Maybe it's just at what you know to be their favorite restaurant. Do you have a strategy that way?
Yeah, well, it's sort of like there are so many hotspots around town. I mean, there won't be the press conference that we're used to seeing on Widmer Street this year, so less opportunities, but nothing beats the carpet. Like if you get to the carpet early, my strategy used to be get there about 2-3 hours early before the movie starts. Now they have like an organized system where you could get a wristband and that guarantees you a spot at the carpet. And I think if you're willing to put in that time, it's so worth it. We have such big names here this year. It's going to be so exciting.
I cannot wait because I know in my email every day it's Will Wong, the shots he got, and I go, oh, that's so cool. So I'm proud of you, and I'm proud to call you a friend as well.
Thank you, Bill.
Stick with us because we're going to ask you how the average Joe like me can navigate my way through the film festival, because you've got a lot and you talk about it in your blog. I wanted to ask you this question before, and it'll be a nice segue into how people can enjoy.
Yeah.
But you must have an incredibly good visual sense when and sort of memorization or history to be able to recognize that star off down the street and go, oh my gosh, that's so-and-so from so-and-so movie. How do you do that?
Well, I'm going to be honest, it's a lot of research. I mean, it looks like a lot of fun and selfies, but in advance of TIFF, it's just really getting a feel for the films that potentially could be at TIFF and premiering here. And then once we have names of the films, it's just sort of familiarizing yourself with the trailers, the synopsis. A lot of research goes into going on IMDb, just sort of, getting a feel for the talent that might be coming in. So it's a bit of research, yeah.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
Research helps your ability to make your way through the festival, and that's not just for you, but I think for everyone sort of trying to figure out how to do this appropriately, turning to you or other bloggers or just people who have done this before, it really pays off. So tell me about Festival Street and how people can take in free stuff, or also maybe things that are, cost a little bit, or maybe are just watching for stars.
Yeah.
How can people take this in effectively?
For sure. Festival Walk is back for the 9th year this year. So Festival Street, this whole strip from Peter Street over to University on King, lots of free fun activations. If you love the Tragically Hip, and who doesn't? If you're truly Canadian, you love the Tragically Hip. They're going to have a sing-along with Choir today, later in the afternoon.
Wow.
You can partake in that, so it's interactive. There's also a Prime Video bus sort of celebrating Tragically Hip here. I did walk by it on the way here. It looks super fun. There's also a lot of free movie screenings if you love classics like Ghostbusters, Karate Kid, Sound of Music, Footloose, fun films. They'll have free public screenings.
Is that in this area?
Yes, it'll be in this area. So this street is closed off, and but on TIFF.net you can find more specific information. Yeah, they have all the locations.
And I know last year I remember discovering just a music artist on one of the stages too. I don't know if they're back doing that this year. I mean, choir. You're always ahead by a century, but giving us a feel for everything going on. So as you wander down, I know there's activations for different media outlets, for Peroni, for I don't know, Nespresso was last year. Can I, if I get thirsty or hungry, how do I do that?
There are so many food trucks. We're foodies. We always at these foodie events, so perfect for us. There's lots of food trucks, a very eclectic mix of food. Down towards University, you'll see a bunch of them.
So speaking of food, and this might spill a little bit outside this Festival Street area, but sometimes that's where we see the celebrities, right?
Yeah.
So I'm hungry. Maybe I've saved up a little bit.
Yeah.
Is it too late to kind of find yourself on those places or at those places that might host celebrities as well?
I think a lot of the hot spots, like this year, any restaurant owned by Charles Gabuth, that's already sort of bought out for the festival.
We were with them earlier today,
Yeah, Nobu, that's the new kid on the block. Milos, that's just opening on Bay Street. It's not yet open to the public. These hot spots are going to emerge from TIFF. Some of them just might simply not be accessible, but there's so many, other options here, and I always just pack snacks. I don't really eat, let's be honest, during TIFF. It's about like what I've got in my little tote
But that's fabulous. But knowing where some of these hot spots are, I guess
Yeah.
you don't have to have the reservation to sit down the whole thing.
Yeah.
We're also talking a little bit about etiquette, and I think that's
Yes.
pretty important. This is the People's Festival, and the stars do make themselves pretty accessible, but where is the etiquette more appropriate and less appropriate to say, can I get a picture, and how would you even do that?
Yeah, it's all about your approach. You know, it's taken years to sort of master it. I've gotten, I think, almost close to 4,000 selfies. I'm embarrassed to admit that.
Wow.
But it's a passion of mine. It brings me joy. It's one of the greatest joys in life. But it's just all about the approach. It's speaking to a celebrity like they're human, just like we're talking right now, eye to eye, just approaching them. I find that a softer approach, a more human approach works versus there's moments to scream at the top of your lungs, don't get me wrong. At the
Right.
red carpet, when you've got your wristband, you're queuing at the barricade, that's the only way you're going to get noticed. That's appropriate for that type of
But
a
at the
setup.
bathroom stall, that is a definite
Oh,
no.
definitely not even in the bathroom. Yeah, I would
I
never.
know.
Yeah, but
and you think you don't have to say that, but
yeah.
I find sometimes people
I get it.
just really forget because they get so
course.
starstruck. So it's probably a good reminder.
Yeah.
But I think generally, if you've gotten 4,000, I mean, you're a very warm person.
Oh,
But
thank you.
I think most people would be able to, at some point, find the courage close to the red carpet to say, hey, what do you think? And give it a
Yeah.
try. It's worth it, right?
Yeah, and I find like often like what I do when I'm on in a situation that's very public and I feel like you really have to stand out, just have your phone ready. Sometimes you just roll it on video mode and you might just have to get a screenshot of it. I find that helps. That saved me so many times.
That's a great point, because if
Yeah.
you're pulling it out of if they're waiting, they're ready
not
to do it,
gonna
you have to pull
time.
it.
You
They'll be
gotta
pulled
be
away
ready.
by their people.
Yeah, you got to be ready, and a lot of times those few seconds have literally made the difference.
Well, Will,
Yeah.
I think I need to get a selfie because you're a star.
I'm
in my
here
book.
for it.
Yeah,
You're here for Beanie. Let's be
Yeah, I'm here for
honest.
Beanie. We're going to set it to break. We'll have more on CB24 Breakfast right after this. Beanie, you're so cute.